podcast, we will be talking about the prophet Jonah. In the story Jonah, it is said that he lived in Gath-hepher, a small border town in ancient Israel. He was a well-known prophet during the reign of Israel's king Jeroboam, Jonah of the northern kingdom. Some of the problems he faced consist in not being obedient to God and his callings. Also, he fled God's judgment and did not want to go to Nineveh, the capital of the enemy's nation, to be forgiven. He fled rather than to tell them of the coming of the judgment. He did not want them to escape God's wrath and be forgiven. Jonah's overall message is seen as the story unfolds. The short story carries a big one. The power of God's word and grace can change the direction of one's life as well as many lives. It is ironic that a short story has such a big impact for an individual's life. To many live, all changing dramatically. It can also be viewed as God's saving mercy towards the nation of the world. The Lord's compassion is not only for insiders. Jonah is portrayed as a reluctant prophet who flees from God's summons to prophecies against the wickedness of the city of Nineveh. God chastens him for his attitude, and the book affirms that God's mercy extends even to the inhabitants of the hateful foreign city. Jonah tried to escape God's judgment by jumping off of a ship into the ocean, but God saved him by letting the whale eat him. Then the word of the Lord came to Jonah a second time. Go to the city of Nineveh and proclaim to it the message I give you. Jonah obeyed the word of the Lord and went to Nineveh. Now Nineveh was a very large city. It took 3 days to go through it. Jonah began by going a day journey into the city, proclaiming 40 more days, and Nineveh would be overthrown. The Ninevians believed God. A fast was proclaimed, and all of them, from the greatest and the least, put on a sackcloth. When Jonah's warning reached the king of Nineveh, he rose from his throne, took off his royal robes, and covered himself with sackcloth, and sat down in the dust. This is the proclamation he issued in Nineveh. By the decree of it, the king, his nobles, do not let people or animals, herds or flocks take anything. Do not let them eat or drink, but let people and animals be covered with sackcloth. Let everyone call urgently on God. Let them give up their evil ways and their violence. Who knows? God may yet relent and with compassion turn from his fierce anger so that we will not perish. When God saw what they did and how they turned from their evil ways, he relented and did not bring on them the destruction he had threatened. Jonah chapter 3 verses 2-10. But to Jonah this seemed very wrong, and he became angry. He prayed to the Lord, "Isn't it what I said, Lord, when I was still at home? This is what I tried to foreshadow by fleeing to Tarshish. I knew that you are a gracious and compassionate God, slow to anger and abounding in love, a God who relents from sending calamity. Now, Lord, take away my life, for it is better for me to die than to live." But the Lord replied, "It is right for the angry." Jonah had gone out and sat down at a place of the city. There he made himself a shelter, sat in its shade, and waited to see what would happen to the city. Then the Lord God provided a leaf plant and made it grow up over Jonah to give shade for his head, to ease his discomfort, which chewed the plant, so happy about the plant. But at dawn the next day, God provided a worm which chewed the plant so that it withered. When the sun rose, God provided a scorching east wind, and then the sun blazed on Jonah's head. He grew faint. He wanted to die and said, "It would be better for me to die than to live." Jonah chapter 4 verses 2-8. In these two verses, it is said that Jonah did as God told, but then wanted to die afterwards because he did not like the fact that God forgave him. The prophet Jonah most closely relates to the Nobel Prize winner Muhammad Anwar el-Sadat because he was a former president of Egypt and led Egypt into the Yom Kippur. Muhammad could be considered someone who led God's people into something somewhat good. Just like Jonah, he was sent on a mission he did not really think he could accomplish, nor was he truly feeling the call. Egyptian army officer and politician who was president of Egypt from 1970 until his assassination in 1981. He initiated serious peace negotiations with Israel, an achievement for which he shared the Nobel Prize winning in 1978 with Israel Prime Minister. Under their leadership, Egypt and Israel made peace with each other in 1979, just as Jonah made peace with the Nevians, with God.